Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री चैतन्य प्रभु विष्णु स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदामह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यम्। Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for being here on a Sunday morning, taking out your valuable time to be here to share and discuss something on teachings of Bhagavad Gita as enunciated by Srila Prabhupada. So we're very grateful for this opportunity to be in all of your presence this morning, be able to share, remember, think of our spiritual teachers, teachings of the Supreme Lord. So it's a great fortune that we all have that opportunity. we could be doing so many things this morning. But somehow by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are here trying to remember what is the purpose of human life and what is the best course of activity in human life. Srimad Bhagavatam, in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, the sages of Naimisharanya, they have assembled and they asked this question to Sutta Goswami. They asked Sutta Goswami, what is the most beneficial thing for everyone? This world, what one person likes, the other person may not like it. What is suitable for one person may not actually work for another person. We are all very different. Our likes and dislikes in this world is very unique. How many of you like pineapple on pizza? There are no Italians in the room, so you can very confidently say. That you like pineapple on a pizza. It will start a civil war if you go ahead and do that. So we all have a liking. You give anything to Indians, they will Indianize it. Recently, once we were cooking in a Bhakti Center in New York City, and it was a Chinese menu. According to an Indian, it is a Chinese menu. So what is that? What is the most common Chinese things that you eat? Noodles, then fried rice, then Manchurian. So we think this is a classic Chinese menu for Indians. So we were making that, and we had one volunteer come by. She was a Chinese. She was coming from mainland China. She was a student, and she came to assist us in the kitchen. And it was very like you're working, like you're cooking, so there was not much time to interact because it was like in the middle of cooking. She walked in, so we said, "Okay, help us cut." And I thought, okay, here is a Chinese person. She'll be very happy to, like she will know how to cut and everything. And she did a decent job. She did whatever we asked her of, to wash things, to cut up, to clean, whatever. She was very polite and she was very helpful. And the cooking was supposed to get over by 12 as offering, and the prasad serving us at 12:30. And at 12 she said, I have to leave. I have something really pressing that I have to go attend to. I have to immediately leave. So I said, oh, you worked so hard, like for a few hours now, you helped us. Why don't you stay for another 30 minutes? We'll be able to give you the prasad. And she said, no, we have to really leave. And of course, these foods with soy sauce and stuff, they don't go on the altar. So we said, okay, just wait. So we brought it to the Jagannathji in the kitchen, and then we made an offering, and then packed her, and then get. So we're very glad that we're able to give you some Chinese food. And she's been helping us throughout the kitchen, seeing everything, mixing and watching. She said, really? This is Chinese food? This is Manchurian. No, we don't have anything like this. So that's when I realized this is Indian Chinese. There is nothing like Manchurian. Like there's a place like Manchurian is like a kind of, it's derived from a place, but there is nothing like, they don't have what we have invented in India as Chinese. So similarly, each one of us have different tastes, different likes in this world. There are many things that we consider as the common things, but it is not very common for someone else. So what we consider as Chinese food may not be Chinese food for Chinese people, and each one of us, we could have different tastes. But what is the most common beneficial thing for everyone? Yes.
So the most common thing for everyone is that we came here for one particular reason, and that is to go to Goloka. To go to Goloka, worship Krishna, chant our holy names, just worship Krishna in general, be Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Sudha Goswami is answering the same thing. It is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktira Dokshaje Ahaituki Apratihata Atma Suprasidati. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. What is Paro Dharma? There is Dharma. There are different levels of Dharma in this world. What is Paro Dharma? Which is the highest Dharma and the most common Dharma for everybody. Because even the conflict in Bhagavad Gita, I trust like you're all discussing Bhagavad Gita, otherwise usually, so I don't want to be that person that comes between you and the Bhagavad Gita. But today we'll connect it with the Bhagavad Gita also. What is the main confusion, conflict in the Bhagavad Gita? Yes?
So the most common thing is they're trying to fight with our kingdom. Duryodhana wants it and Arjuna wants it too. So it's his duty to fight.
So he has a conflict, as Aryan is saying, he has a conflict of duty. One is he belongs to a particular family. So what comes with that? When you belong to a particular family, with every connection comes a responsibility. So because he belongs to a family, he has something called as Kula Dharma. However, he is also a prince, he is also a person in governance, he is also a prince. He has social duty. What is his social duty? To protect. So he has a Kshatriya Dharma according to his nature. And there is Apad Dharma, Apadkala Dharma. There is an emergency Dharma. Usually there are common things which we are supposed to follow. But in terms of emergency, in times of emergency, things would be different. So apart from all of these things, there is something called as Paro Dharma. There are two kind of dharmas that in the second chapter Krishna explains. One is Sanatan Dharma, the other one is Swadharma. So Sanatan Dharma or the Paro Dharma is common to everyone at all times in all circumstances. That is called as Paro Dharma. That Dharma, if anyone asks you which is the highest Dharma, the definition of highest Dharma that Suta Goswami gives is that Dharma which is actually applicable at all times to all people in all circumstances. That is called as the highest Dharma. Savai Pumsam Paradharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshaje Ahaituki Apratihata Yatma Suprasida. This is by what the heart can be satisfied. That's also the part of the question. If you read the question by the sages, Yen Atma Suprasidati. That's how Sutta Goswami is saying. But the sages asked him, Yayatma Suprasidati. How does the heart become satisfied? So, Parodharma is that which satisfies everyone's heart. Not everyone's heart means you may do something and people may be dissatisfied with you. That's very common. But we are speaking about Krishna will be satisfied with you. The world may or may not be. It's very hard. Whoever we are in this world, it's very hard to satisfy everybody. However, Krishna will be satisfied with us. So what is that dharma by which Krishna will be satisfied with us? The Swadharma could be different for different individual. One could be a very person who is into teaching and knowledge. Another person could be into governance and military, and some other person could be into arts and resources. Another person could be into wealth and management. So different people's nature may warrant different external activities. However, there is one thing which is common by doing everyone can satisfy Krishna. That is ahaituki apratihata, without motivation, without selfishness. Bhakti yoga. If we practice Savai Punsam Parodharmo Yatho Bhakti Radokshaja, if we practice bhakti unto the Supreme Lord Adokshaja, then he will be satisfied. Why he is called as Adokshaja? The word Adokshaja means Adaha Akshaja. Adaha means one who defeats. One who defeats what? Akshaja. What is born of eyes? So the knowledge that is born from the senses is represented by Akshaja. So how do we gather knowledge? We see things and understand. We hear things and understand. We touch things and understand. We smell things and understand. So through the senses, we develop knowledge. That is all about scientific experiments. Through sensory observations, through any one of the senses, we gather some knowledge, and that is represented as Akshaja. Krishna says he is beyond sensory knowledge. He rather defeats sensory knowledge. That's why he is called as Adokshaja, one who defeats the sensory knowledge because he is beyond the grasp of sensory knowledge. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet akyam indriyahi sevon mukhehi jihvado swayameva spuratyadaha. That the Supreme Lord is saying, if you want to experience miracle, I can help you. Everyone wants to experience miracle. And Krishna says, I can show you miracle. How? Atha Shri Krishna Namati na bhavet grahyam indriyahi. You won't be able to grasp me by the power of your intelligence or your sensory knowledge. Sevon mukhehi jihvado. But if you engage in my service using the tongue, by speaking about Krishna and chanting his names and tasting the prasad which is offered to Krishna. So by chanting Krishna's holy names and by tasting the prasad offered to Krishna, he says, Swayam eva spuratyadaha. Swayam, I by my free will, Swayam eva, only by my free will, I will be revealed to you. So it has to be revealed. So Krishna cannot be forced. Krishna has to be revealed and by his own free will. So Swayameva Spuratyadaha. I will show in your heart my presence. You will be able to understand me. The inconceivable becomes conceivable by the process of chanting Hare Krishna, by the power of the holy name. So once, this is in the Jaimini Mahabharata, that after the Mahabharata war, they are performing yagyas, Ashwamedha yagya and everything. And then Krishna and the Pandavas, they encounter two Brahmanas actually fighting among each other. And there is a commotion outside the Yagyashala. And they just want to check what is happening. So they go out and they see that there are two Brahmanas who are fighting with each other. So what are they fighting about? So one Brahmana is saying, you sold me the land. You did not sell the pot with the golden coins which was inside the land. So this belongs to you. I only bought the land from you. I paid the price, which is for the price of the land, and I got the land from you. What was found inside, I did not pay for that to you, so you should have it previous owner. And this Brahmana says, I have sold this land to you, and I have taken the money. So whatever now comes out of that land is yours. I don't have any claim to it. I have already sold you the land, so I don't want this. No, this pot of gold coin belongs to you, and this Brahmana is saying, no, this does not belong to me. This belongs to you. So what a fight that we would like. It is quite a fight. And today we'll be like, are you like you have a problem? Give me the pot. Like we will handle it. You don't need to fight amongst them. Yourself, you both be peaceful. Give the pot to me. So today we will say like that. But they were fighting like this, and Krishna told them, okay. Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Krishna, how do you resolve this? He said, don't worry, come after 3 months. You have pot, right? You keep it with you and you go and come after 3 months. The spot is now with a common person. It's not with either of them. It's with a common person. They are coming after 3 months. And now they are fighting. This spot belongs to me because I already paid you the cost for the land. The other person is saying, no, I only sold you the land, not the pot inside what was found under the land. So that pot belongs to me. Yudhishthira Maharaj is looking to Krishna and saying, what's happening? Why is there this sudden change with time? He says, Kali Yuga has already started. This is the symptom of that Kali Yuga has started, that people have become influenced by the age of Kali. They have adapted the selfishness attitude and quarrel and hypocrisy. The attitude of quarrel, hypocrisy, they have already starting to adapt. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj and the other Pandavas, they become very interested. If this is the situation just in a few weeks or few months, what would be the case of Kali Yuga when it actually gets bad? So he says, okay, you really want to know? So then he picks up 5 arrows and he shoots in 5 directions. Krishna shoots them in 5 directions and tells them, each of you go in one direction, find the arrow and bring me back. So they all go and they see something while collecting the arrow. And they come back and Krishna asks them, what did you see? Nakula says that I saw that there were 8 ponds, water ponds, water lakes kind of thing. They're filled with water. They were like brimming with water. And in the center of these 8 ponds, there is a patch of land which was completely dry. Which were like, have you seen a dry land, which is like with a lot of cracks, everything? There's no sign of any nourishment and life in there, just completely cracked. And it felt like, how can this? It's surrounded by lakes of water, 8 in all directions. How is it that it is so dry? And I was so confused. Krishna, can you please explain? He says, okay, let's hear from what Sahadev saw. So he also asked, what did Sahadev see? Sahadev says that he saw an elephant pass through a needle. When he went to collect the arrow, he saw an elephant being passed through a needle, but the tail of the elephant was getting stuck in the needle. Elephant passed through, but the tail was getting stuck. So he asked Krishna, how do I understand this? This is so bewildering. He says, okay, let's see what Bhima has to say. Bhima said, I saw cow licking its calf, but it was licking the calf so much that the calf was actually bleeding. So he was asking, like, I could not understand that. Why would the cow do this? And I don't know how to understand this. So then Krishna said, okay, let's discuss. But before that, let's hear what Arjuna saw. And Arjuna said, actually, I saw a cuckoo singing very sweetly. The voice was so sweet, and I was so mesmerized by it. And as I was hearing the cuckoo sing, suddenly the cuckoo turned and killed a rabbit. It just completely bloodied a rabbit, like completely blood, killed it in a very gruesome way. And he says, I also could not understand, and I was so shocked that it was singing so sweetly, and suddenly it turns into a beast, killing a rabbit and like poking on it and bleeding the rabbit. And then they all turned to Yudhishthira Maharaj, like, what did you see? Because all of them have seen such weird things at such different kind of scenario. They turned to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira says, when I looked up after collecting the arrow, I saw a huge rock which was like rolling down the mountain. And I was thinking, oh, this is a huge rock, it's going to come and hit. And then I saw there was a small little plant. And the rock came down running, the plant held it. So the rock stopped rolling, supported just by a small plant, which was a very thin plant. And I could not understand how that huge weight of this rock was being stopped by a small plant. So then they all asked Krishna, how do we understand this? So the Krishna explained that these are all symptoms of Kali Yuga. That these are all symptoms of Kali Yuga. So let's test. What is the first thing Nakula saw? 8 ponds surrounded, and in the center there was a dry patch of land. And Krishna gives the explanation how, as the Kali Yuga progresses, you will see wealth all around in a particular area, and amidst that there will be a slum. You will go to a city where it is like the financial capital, where there is so much money for any random thing they are spending, but there will always be homeless people who are just looking for food. So there will be so much wealth all around, but there will be abject poverty amidst that wealth. And people will become insensitive to that. It won't hurt their hearts to see that how can be such disparity in distribution of wealth. So amidst skyscrapers or amidst so much wealth, there will be actually poverty. And what is the second one? Elephant going through a needle and the tail getting stuck. It is that people will spend so much on themselves, so much money they can spend on themselves. But when anybody asks them to contribute to a pious cause, for a spiritual cause, for a good cause, the tail will get stuck. The number of zeros that goes on a shopping cart and the number of zeros that gets added on a donation receipt is like very different. So elephant passes through, but a tail gets stuck because people are not willing to actually spare their wealth for the sake of any good cause. Because sometimes, like, people spend like 30 crores. What is because like Ambani's wedding? It's a complete different thing. But recently, somebody was saying how this there someone in their state, a very rich person, they spent like 30 crores in a day just for a wedding. And what happens after 6 months? You hear that people have divorced after spending 30 crores for a one-day wedding. People are not even grateful, and they're just fighting for whatever reason, and they get divorced so quickly. And there was one Brazilian model. She was she was dating and getting married so many times. She had total 14 breakups. So she got so frustrated in pandemic. She said, "I will." She went to the court, saying every time, uh, like, I'm trying to invest my love in someone, and I'm frustrated. So give me the permission to get married to myself. It's called a sologamy. You get married to yourself, because she said at least there will be no divorce, because here when I get married, when I put my trust in others, then at least there is this frustration of love. So I'm just going to get married to myself. So give me this permission, and the court actually grants a permission. And in a year's time, she finds someone whom she really loves, but she cannot get married with that person because she is already married to herself. So she goes to the court asking for divorce for herself from herself. So the court grants her a divorce, and then she gets married to this 15th person. No, it's the 16th marriage, because she got married to herself as the 15th. So she gets married the 16th time. So 16th is a charming number, so she thought this is going to work for me. But after a year, she got so frustrated. So I did not follow her life afterwards. So this was the news that this person was applying for to get divorced from herself. So that's when it became a famous news. Like, why is anybody getting divorced from oneself? Because she first got a ruling to get married to herself. So much is that people are spending in getting married or in for their own personal things. But if when asked for supporting any other cause, it would be hard. So elephant would pass through, but a tail would get stuck. What is the third thing? The cow licking the calf. So Krishna explains how, as Kali Yuga progresses, parents, in the name of taking care of the child, will start pampering the child so much that that very pampering will actually affect the child's growth, will make the child ungrateful. So that's another thing, that it's not very easy. I don't have kids, so I can very easily sit here and say that. The moment you have, then it's a very hard thing. It's not very easy thing. I don't think I have any qualification to speak on that. But because it is part of the story, I have to just share the teaching. I don't have a personal. I don't. I won't assume having a qualification to advise anything on that without having a personal experience. Because you can just be peaceful sitting and chanting, and you may think, oh, I'm like a saint and all that. Just bring a kid into the room, and the kid just like cries and cries and cries. You just feel like, oh, like I just, oh, this time. That's when we, because say, like, usually I grew up in a joint family, seeing so many kids. So children crying is not a big deal. But believe me, I'm not sounding like that old lady or the grandmother or grandfather. Before 30, 20, 30 years, children were not crying like this. They were slightly different. We have to be just very honest. I have seen so many brothers and sisters, like small kids, grow up before me, and they were not crying anything like this. Just school, we would be school children coming back, and we'll be just playing with them. They'll be sitting in one corner, one potato, something they'll be like put towards them. They'll be just looking at it, just like roaming around. They'll be much peaceful. They would cry, but not crazy. It was not that difficult. It was easy to handle them. There's a lot of people around. They'll just look at someone. They'll laugh something. It's simple things actually satisfied the kids. And I was in a flight, and it was a long flight. So I was thinking, okay, I have to, because I was crossing multiple time zones. It's a confusion. How much to chant, when to chant, what to chant. It's like a total confusion when you're on an international flight. I leave on a particular day. Sometimes Ekadashi passes away in the air. So you don't know whether should I practice Ekadashi in the flight, or should I just uh, which one to follow. It's like a confusing thing. So I was just doing my calculation. I need to chant two rounds, two set of rounds, because I'm crossing certain time zones. So let me have to figure all that out. And I was thinking, okay, I should do this, I should do that. And then I go inside. I get a seat in the middle, and I have beside a child, a person who's having a child, and in this side, I have a young kid sitting. So the young kid would just not watch anything other than a game. Like it's just like either on the tablet or on the screen, something was like constantly happening. And this side, the child was constantly crying. So I was like, okay, what is the best thing to see? Because there was no break. Like the child would constantly cry, and the father wanted to actually go to the washroom and come back. So I said, would you mind just leaving the seat? I'll sit in the last seat, not because I want the window. Believe me, I don't care, because there's nothing in this window 30,000 feet high that I can see except the clouds. It's not the window. You'll be easily able to come. So let's shift, like I go inside, the boy comes here in the middle, and then you go to the aisle seat. So if you want to go to the washroom, you want to go walk pace, so that you can do that. But the child would just not agree. The kid sitting next to me would just not agree to give up the seat. There is no way he says, I am going moving from this aisle seat. So the next 30 hours was such a test of patience for me. So it's a very interesting experience, like how you can just tell the kid this is how you should behave. It's They are kids. That's why they are kids. So we can say, but it's not very easy. But at the same time, how do we actually take responsibility for raising the kid, not pampering? Because sometimes I see, I asked, I was visiting one of my cousins, and I was asking, oh, my sister. So I said, oh, how is the child like so far away? That I have given a phone to it. Past time, I don't have time. I've given a phone, so it's very quiet. Like she's very quiet. She's just sitting in one place, and she's all like fully. And from her, I learned what does the word mean viral before a few years. I did not know what means a viral. She said there is a viral video. We were just coming out of pandemic. I said, video maybe virus hota hai. I know there's like computer virus, but what is a viral video? Is this like about virus? Is it about COVID, or is it like spreading virus? What? He said, no, anything which is famous is called viral. I said, what does that mean? So I had to Google to understand what is the meaning of the word viral at that point, like because that was a very new term to me. So kids, it's very difficult to handle them. We can say whatever we want, but it's very, because they don't just listen to what you say, they observe how you live. You can tell them you have to wake up in the morning, you have to wake up in the morning whole life, but if you are not waking up in the morning, that will never become their system. If they see, if they grow up watching us waking up in time and doing the right things, you don't have to tell anything to the kids. They will naturally follow. Even when they grow up slightly in the middle age, they may just go, they may do like a teenager, they may do what they want, but still the impressions of growth remain in their mind. They actually absorb how you live. They don't believe in what you say. There's this person who, they actually, somebody, whenever, like when is the right time, if you want your house cleaned, what do you have to do? Invite a guest. House will be clean in 15 minutes. Everything will find its place. Either in a closet, wherever, but everything will find a place in 15 minutes. Just you have to just invite a guest. Everything will be in place. Everything will be clean and perfect. So, so they invited, the guest came, and then they asked the guest, what would you like to drink? He said, we don't drink coffee. I only drink milk, because I think caffeine is not good for my health. And the host said, yeah, we also don't drink coffee nowadays. We are all drinking milk. And the girl said, Papa, abhi aaj subah hi to coffee piye the. So the kids don't lie. The kids observe what we do, and that's why they have a simple heart. So it's very hard balance that not pampering them and still taking care of them, instilling values in them is a big task. And the fourth reason, if you remember, it is Arjuna saying about the cuckoo, that cuckoo is singing very sweetly, but the next moment it is bloodying a rabbit, it's killing a rabbit. It's like friends and relatives who speak very sweetly to us, or we speak to people very sweetly. When they are there in their presence, we're like, we so sweet. At the moment they just step aside, we can just say, "Pata nahi kab jayenge." So we can be very sweet on face, but the moment actually they step aside, we may just think exactly opposite in our hearts. So the cuckoo sings very sweetly, but also hurts the rabbit. Similarly, we could on face we could just be very sweet in Kali Yuga, but in our hearts we could just be feeling exactly the opposite thing. So anyone who speaks nicely to face and then like goes behind and spreads poison, what to speak of just having a complaint? People can just go and speak completely opposite. Now maliciously just spread, knowingly spread falsehoods against the person because they're just like disturbed or they're just envious. So this is also very possible in this age. And there is a huge rock that is rolling down. So that is what Yudhishthira Maharaj observed. So what is that? Krishna explains that in the Kali, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan astihi eko mahotgunan kirtana deva Krishna se mukta sangha paramrajan. Kali is compared to an ocean of faults. He says in Kali Yuga there will be so many faults, like that big rock which is rolling down. We will all have so many faults. We will all have so many defects. We are human beings, especially one who's living in a very degraded age. Manda sumanda matayo mandabhagyahi upadrata. So we might have many defects. How many times you tell Matajis will tell the Prabhu, I want these 10 things to be in the shopping list. Like you have to buy these 10 things. And will you remember? Prabhu says, yes, perfectly. Don't need to write. No, क्या कितनी बार बोलेगे आप 10 बार बोल दिए ऑलरेडी मुझे सब याद रहेगा जस्ट बता दो क्या चाहिए मैं जाके लेके आ जाऊंगा एंड द माता जी विल से नो राइट डाउन यू विल फॉरगेट नो अरे कितनी बार ये तो चार चीजें मैं खरीद लूंगा सो देन दे विल गो एंड देन दे विल कॉल फ्रॉम द अरे आपने क्या बोला था वो उसके बाद क्या था आइटम so then you say everything you explain again and then they come home there is only 6 items out of the 10 items 4 items so it's very common that we all tend to forget. More than that, we don't want to accept that we have the tendency to forget. We are very confident that I won't forget. So manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upasatana. So this is a symptom of Kali Yuga, that we have so many faults, like that big rock rolling down. But there is one small plant that is holding that. What is that? That is the holy name. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramvaje. Just by the effect of chanting the holy name, even though we may have so many defects, our character, we may have a lot leaving to be desired more, like we might have a lot more to actually improve in our personal character, but still the holy name actually can help us develop all those good qualities. The original nature of the soul can be uncovered through the process of just chanting Hare Krishna. So when Krishna explains that how that huge rock could be stopped by a small plant, that one name of Krishna, of course, is not a small plant, but generally we consider just one name of Krishna, kya hi ho jaye. But we have this example of Ajamil being saved. Just he called out Narayan at the time of death, calling his son, but that name saved him. So we may consider kya hi in logon ko kaam nahi hai, hamesha Hare Krishna karte rehte hain. So people may think, oh, what will happen just by chanting Hare Krishna? Everything can happen just by chanting Hare Krishna. Because there are so many things happening outside, but still we are not satisfied. We all think peace means all the circumstances and conditions around me should become perfect, then I'll be peaceful. Peace is not favorable conditions outside. Peace is the ability to cope with all situations and still be able to reconcile it in our hearts. Only that person is peaceful. That they are able to reconcile everything that is happening outside and able to cope with it internally. Only that person can say that I'll be peaceful always in all circumstances. If our peace is dependent on the external circumstances, on how other people behave, then we can never have peace because we never have control. If a daughter-in-law thinks, if only my mother-in-law was like this, my life will be peaceful. The mother-in-law thinks, if only my daughter-in-law was like this, my life would be peaceful. The husband thinks, only my wife will listen to what I say. And the wife is thinking, if only my husband listen to what I say. So then I'll be peaceful. My life would be much better. And there can be so many circumstances which needs to be addressed and which needs to be communicated and reformed. I don't disagree with that. However, if we think I can only be peaceful after I get this job, I deal with a lot of students. So they just, like recently there was this student who paid a $90,000 per semester for a course. Can you imagine $90,000? आराम से बैठ के ही खा सकते हैं 4-5 करोड़ में इंडिया में. But of course, the parents have a lot of money to spend. So he spent $90,000 per semester for an aeronautics course in a very prestigious institution, in a very specialized institution. And towards the third semester, the guy does not want to go to college anymore. To the extent he also attempted to take his own life. Like, when I come across that, I'm like, why? It is not very clear why would with someone with so much money and effort would suddenly would lose hope in life so much. So because we only think by just providing everything externally, the person will be taken care of. Peace will come to my life because all these other externals are all fixed, because money is provided or things are taken care. But we forget that there is something called as mind, which also needs to be cared for, which needs to be tended to, which needs to be actually strengthened and cleansed regularly. So because we think, oh, if I give money to my children, if I just create a huge inheritance for my children, I am doing my job. That's all is required. But we don't realize, but money can go away anytime from anyone's life. How many people have experienced in this world that they were big millionaires or billionaires, and then one change in the stock market, one change in a particular industry, change of technology, introduction of new technology, one natural disaster just completely changes the fortune of a person's life. And we are just thinking, I'll just give money and I'll create a great inheritance and stability in my children's future life. So why is this lie has been fed to us and we are also blindly believing in it? Whereas in our own life, we have experience that one small external thing can completely change one's life. Just a currency falls in its value. Immediately all the fortunes gets reversed. In some of the African countries, people were floating their notes, their bills, because there is so much inflation. There was no value to the money at all. There was an African country in which they were burning the currencies to feel them, not to create warmth, because there was no the country was in such shambles. There is no power, and they will die in the cold. And the currency anyway had no value at all, so they were burning even currencies in order to just create warmth. And we give everything in our lives to create that wealth and think just by giving money my stability will be created in the future lives of my children. But we forget to create character in the children. We forget to create mental hygiene in the for the children, because we will die and go. We won't know. The children may live for 70 years, 80 years, but we may not live that long. We may be dead and gone very early. But the children will be left with whom? With their own mind. Our money, the money that we leave, they may change. But who do we, what kind of mind we have created, help create the child, what kind of character that the child is having, that will remain with the child until whole life. That will actually be a better inheritance for the child. They will always be grateful that my parents actually taught me these values and made me a good person. So today, with all the changing circumstances, I am able to cope with it. So to develop this ability in children, that they can be actually peaceful in all circumstances and reconcile the externals in their heart. For that, we need to be peaceful. We cannot give what we don't have. If I am not peaceful, I cannot make another person peaceful. I have to live and show. Only then they will understand, oh, even this is possible. Despite all the difficulties, my father actually followed values. Despite all the difficulties, my mother actually behaved in a certain way. So that quality they will see and they will learn. Oh, it is not that how others are behaving towards us. Still, my parents, despite all the people behaving badly, still my parents kept proper character and proper qualities and values. When they see, you will become a hero in the eyes of your children. So that's what they lack actually. They lack good examples in their lives. So if we won't become that good example, who else will become that example? So all of that good character can be developed by actually coming close to Krishna through the process of chanting Hare Krishna. It is possible. Without even trying, we have decided the fate of the particular issue that क्या ही हो जाएगा जब करने से हमने कभी try ही नहीं किया है. We have already decided that nothing much will happen through that. However, Krishna is saying everything will happen. धीरे धीरे सब कुछ होगा. So if we keep Hari in our hearts, everything will happen. So that process we have to live by and show to the kids. Then they will understand, oh, okay, I can also actually live by these values. Otherwise, it is not possible because a lot of us may never have faith. There was this one king. Somebody has to help me with the timing. It's done, right? 11:30. I can start winding up. Yeah. Just with this last thing, I'll finish. So there was this king who asked his minister that, show me where is God. You're always speaking about God and spending your time worshipping. Show me where is God. And the minister said, okay, I will show you. Can you ask your attendants to bring a big bowl of milk? So the king's attendants brought a big bowl of milk. And he said, King, can you show me where is butter in this milk? He said, butter, milk mein rehta hai, sabko pata hai. Everybody knows there is butter in the milk. So दिखाओ मतलब कहाँ दिखाओ? There will always be butter in the milk. If you make it into yogurt and if you churn it, butter will come. So no, but show me where is butter now in this milk. उसका process है, पहले दही बनाना पड़ेगा, दही को you have to manthan, you have to churn the yogurt, then it will come. That also is the process. You have to churn in the morning. It should be cold. Only then the butter will actually come properly. So there is a process for that. ऐसे ही दिखाओ मतलब कैसे दिखाएंगे? So he said, well, then why do you think I can show you God? Butter को भी इतना process है. Butter is a very valuable thing, but compared to God, butter is such a cheap thing. So अगर butter को इतना process है, do you think God is so cheap that I can just show you? कभी भी कहीं पे भी दिखा दूं कि मैं तो भगवान कहाँ है. So there is a process. He said there is a process. If you follow that process, then you will get the ability to actually see Krishna. Someone asked Prabhupada, have you seen God? A reporter asked, have you seen God? You're always speaking about Krishna. Have you seen God? He said, क्या ही फर्क पड़ेगा? Whatever answer I give, what difference it will have in your life? अगर मैं हाँ बोलूंगा, आपके पास वेरीफाई करने के लिए कुछ प्रोसेस है? कुछ प्रोसेस है? नहीं है. मैं ना बोलूंगा, उसकी वजह से कि भगवान है नहीं हो जाएगा. कि what is the, like, how does it make a practical difference in your life whether I have seen God or not? He said, maybe I might not have seen God's face as you are thinking, I have seen it, but Prabhupada is saying, but I have seen God's hand in my life. At the age of 70, I have come to the West. Do you think all these people have just become Krishna conscious without God's hand in my life? So I have seen Krishna's hand in my life every moment. So you need to actually develop that faith through by chanting Hare Krishna. Then you will be able to see God's hand in your life. ऐसा ही मुझे challenge करने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. So you have to develop the ability to see Krishna in your life. So then the minister says, there is a process. If there is a process to see butter, why not there is a process for seeing God? He says that is the process of sadhana. That by practicing sadhana, we purify our hearts. So then with that purified heart, we will be able to see God's presence. And he says, okay, so then which direction God is looking at? If God is there, which direction he is looking at? So he said, okay, can you just ask your attendants to bring a lamp? So he lights the lamp and says, tell me in which direction the light is glowing. The light is in all directions. He said, if a material thing as light can actually spread its eyes all over, why not God? So why is your logic limiting you? So God is not limited by our logic. We are limiting ourselves to understanding God. Agar the horse puts on a blinder, that does not mean the world does not exist in those directions. It is that we have created our own blinders, and then we think, oh no, I want God to be like this. But he is not defined, he is not restricted by our logic. So then the king asks, okay, then what is God doing now? What he must be doing something. What is he doing now? Let me explain to me. He says, okay, king, like, would you like to mind exchange seats? Like, I can sit on the top and you could sit down. He says, okay, I can do that. So he comes down and then he sits in the king. He's saying, now God is making a pauper into a king and a king to a pauper. He can do that in 1 minute if he wants. He can make a wealthy person into a what do you call a beggar, and a beggar into a wealthy person in a flick of a second. So he could do anything. So what he is doing currently, he could do anything. So in this way, we are all limited by our logic. So we may think, kya hi ho jayega ek mantra karne se. We think with our logic, but the holy name is powerful. It is not different from the Lord. That अगर आप जब करेंगे तो ही पता चलेगा ना. दवाई लिए ही नहीं है तो कैसे पता चलेगा कि दवाई का क्या असर होगा. We can keep telling, if you take this medicine, this will happen, that will happen. But unless you go and take the medicine, you won't be able to personally experience. एक बार personally experience आ गया, then no, you won't need the whole world to come and attest for you, because it is your personal experience. Krishna is telling that you can gain a personal experience of the potency of the holy name. लेकिन जब करना पड़ेगा. You have to take out your time and invest in for the welfare of your life. Then you will be able to give culture to your children. You won't be able to delegate that responsibility. और कोई culture सिखा देंगे मेरे बच्चों को. It's not like sending to school. You cannot delegate that personal responsibility of teaching your children higher values to someone else. मैं Sunday school भेज दिया, हो गया, मेरा काम हो गया. मेरे लिए थोड़ा छुट्टी भी मिल गए. Like like somebody asked a mother, like, what is the best time of your day? सुबह 9 बजे when the kids go to school. That is the best. So I send my kids to Sunday school, then my job is done. Values वो वहाँ सिखाएंगे, मेरा कोई responsibility नहीं है. No, how you live is the values of your children. It's not what they get from outside. Whatever is your life, whatever is your value, that's the least common denominator value of your children's life values. So we have to improve our own personal value. Then we will be able to increase value in everyone's life. So thank you very much. We don't know where we started, where we went, but hope there's some message was conveyed. And Sharan Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada, Gaur
Yes, I actually have an example. So you said that the give. So I have an example here. So just like you said, so you know how like cold water goes and then like the hot water rises. So similarly, Krishna doesn't lead by our expectations, but he leads by his own expectations, and he wants us to follow that. Is what I'm trying to explain.
Yes, okay. Do anyone else? Wonderful class. Very practical actually. So, please give a very big round of applause. We would like to thank the setup team for today. So it's like that way Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu and actually like all the disciples of His Holiness Chandrabali Swami Maharaj has done the setup today. So please give them a very big round of applause. And also like today's Sunday feast is sponsored by the disciples of His Holiness Chandrabali Swami Maharaj on the occasion of Maharaj Vyasa Puja. So please chant 3 times Hare Krishna. Dapat, of the devotees, of course, back to God. So let's all chant Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would request Buddha for Maharaj to come to take the prasadam. Thank you so much. So, and also like we would like to thank the book distribution team and would like to request like Naveen Prabhu to give an update like, about the last week's distribution.
Hare Krishna. So we are not last week because of thunderstorms we could not do much, but overall like 36 books were distributed through the month. So we need to do more. So please pray for us. To if we should other connections that we can do more book distribution. Hare Krishna.
Also like we have like Ramudara month is coming. So it's in October. It starts in October and ends in November. So we are planning like for a small home programs where like if anyone want to sign up for that, like not in the like what we are looking is like if you can find out your friends or like families who are not connected to ISKCON, ask them like if we can do a puja at their home for because Damodara month is the precious month where like they can get a lot of blessing. So ask them like if we can do a puja or like if we can perform the Damodara prayers over there. And then like we are coming up with a sign up sheet.
and it will be like we'll be doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days. So those 3 days, like it's weekdays, it will be evening 7:30 p.m. Like we will be doing that. And if you can just come out, talk to your friends or families, because like they can invite other people from their community or like friends and families of them. And like it's a very good opportunity for all of us to give Krishna to them and then like make them to know about Gita Mandir also. So we'll be able to tell them about Gita Mandir and then like utilize this opportunity to spread the word. Okay. So we'll come up with a spreadsheet. We'll share it in the group. So like you can definitely look into it and see like if you can arrange those programs in your friends' houses. And like any new visitor to the temple today, please will request you to come. You are coming first time. Please come. Please come here. You can introduce yourself and also like please let us know how do you come to know about Gita.
We came to know about this when we visited we were at the grocery store last week, and the book distribution team reached out to us, and then they introduced us to this program. And I think this has been really good for us. We've been looking around to find such kind of programs, and this is really good. And, we are very happy that we were able to spend our Sunday morning over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bro. Thank you so much. And we'll go with the regular program now. So as like we all know today, like we have this Valida Sundamal Maharaj Vyas Puja. So the program will be slightly different. So what we'll be doing is like we will be doing the Guru Puja now. So while the Guru Puja is happening, like we'll be offering the flowers. And then like we have the regular aarti and then like prasadam. Like today prasadam, like what we have planned is like we have planned the boxes outside, so like after the program, like you can take the prasadam box and then take home and eat it. Okay. So because of the time crunch, we are not able to give it over here. Like we have to complete this and then by 1:30 and give it to someone else. So that's the reason we just changed the process for today only. Thank you so much. And we asked like this is a standing article, so I would request everybody to stand. So could you please will push out the Gurmaras and please everybody form a line and come take the pushpa and do the Palshetam while the pushpa is going on. And once the pushpa is done, we will Aarti and
You want to take this fire up in your phone, say Shri Guru Vandana. So if you want to open up in your phone and if you want to sing along with the Shri Guru Vandana, start with Shri Guru Sharan Padma. Thank you.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री रामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री कोटि श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद की अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की गंगामयी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। Thank you everyone. All glories to somebody devotees. All glories to somebody devotees. All glories to somebody devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Govinda Sri Prabhupada ki jay. Is Mr. Ramari Maharaj Raspuja Mahamahotsav ki jay. Thank you.
Mahaprasade Govinde, Mahaprasade Govinde, Nama Brahme Vaishnave, Nama Brahme Vaishnave, Kalpa
Krishna, thank you so much. We have some straight layer boxes. So just we can take those.